All right, you guys, welcome back to the podcast with us for the second time. We were just talking about this. Miss Beverly Offray. Bev, welcome back.
Thank you, Brandon. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to give everybody an update because, like you were just saying off air, we did this in December, right?
December of 2020.
Okay, so now when we're making this recording right now, we're in the beginning or middle of October 2021. So we can give people an update. What's been going on over the past 10 months, which I think is really cool update. But let's rewind and tell people kind of where you started off back maybe in December. Yes. What were some of the early struggles? Because you just shared, how much are you going to finish this year in production?
I'm on track to finish 31 million in production in volume.
Amazing.
And then 26 in transaction. Well, I'm working to make that to 30 and maybe even more. So, so we'll see what happens. Well,
good for you. Okay. Good for you. And if you finish up at 31 million in your market, what type of income will that represent for you, Bev, roughly?
Close to $500,000.
Amazing. So I want to share the story on how you've got to where you've gotten to, because I think it's a beautiful story. You definitely put in the work. So just 10 months ago in December, walk us through where you were at in your business.
Okay, so I joined last year in May of 2020. So sure. Between May and 2022 December, I had to make a conscious decision to put my mindset and train my mind and myself so I can handle objections. So I had to practice scripts, because what I realized was that I cannot just go without any skill in me, because then, I will not be able to convert. And what I was realizing was that I was going through a lot of mental challenges, because basically I was going through a lot of mental challenges. And with that, I started role playing every morning. There are a few things that I started that now is a habit, which is like I have to wake up at 5:30, somewhere there between 5:15 to 5:30 in the morning. I do my exercise, or at least my light walk.
Yeah.
And I do my cold shower still. And then I mastermind or role play from 6 o'clock or from 6:30 in the morning. And then so I do 3 role plays every day, and that is consistent. It never changes. 6:30, 7, and at 7:30, and at 8 o'clock in the morning, I start my calls for expireds and for sale by owner. So from May of last year until December, my first 4 months, there was nothing, but I was just calling. I was going on preview appointments and I was not getting any traction. But what I did was, like, everybody that I connected with, I was putting them on a database and a pipeline, wherein I was, as time goes on, what I did not realize was that I was also developing my confidence and my skills.
Yep.
So eventually 4 months later, 5 months later, I started engaging the same people that I started talking in the beginning. And then I ended up in December with 7 closed transactions.
Yeah.
From May to December. And before that, I only had 2 before FISBO-DOM.
Wow, it's amazing. And so you just shared so much. I really want to unpack this for the audience so people really understand what's happening here. So first, I want to share with the audience, Bev, maybe some of the mindset you had in the beginning. And I'll never forget it. You and I had a great coaching call where we were talking about mindset and overcoming the fear of call reluctance. Do you remember that call?
Yes, absolutely.
Now, going back to that mindset versus the fierce tiger that you are today, how did that change? Because so many people, if you know it now, you're working with a lot of agents, you're helping a lot of agents succeed.
Yes.
They're overwhelmed with fear like you were. How did you get through that fear and ultimately to where you're at today?
Well, first I was practicing my role play. I think practicing my role play every morning, so I know that I was
confident.
The objections, confident, right?
Yeah.
So I needed to be confident in my own self. But there's one thing also I feel that probably a lot of people are forgetting. I was crying on the phone. Like I was like really not there, but I was also pressing press. And then the moment that somebody answers the phone, I had to shift. Hi, this is Beverly of EXP Realty. And then I will go on and then I would ask them what their needs are, their motivation, and then I will try to close them. But with that, and then I will be like, oh my God, what? But then the next person comes in, I still say it. I still say it. So I I wanted it so badly. I really wanted to be successful so badly that even if it was a bad day,
Yeah.
I would still wake up in the morning and I was consistent. One thing that I did not try to stop or change was that everything that is set on my calendar, I followed them.
Love
So
it.
that was very important to me. I had to follow my calendar, and whatever is there, if it's prospecting time, nobody can bother me. Whatever my feeling was, I'm just gonna be like, I stumble all the time in the beginning, and now I'm just confident. It takes time. Nothing happened in my first 4 months, and
Yeah.
my fifth month was, and then after that, everything kind of like snowballed, and I could not even see myself like being in the same position as before because I've already matured. I'm already like, it's different. It's a very different mindset now. I'm already thinking about like what will be my business moving forward rather than my fear of calling.
Yeah, makes a ton of sense. So you, what's really cool about that is you said a lot there, but you pushed through the pain because your desire for success was greater than the fear. And you had a deep rooted why that pushed you through, because I think you and I both would agree with what I'm about to say, which is anybody that's new to sales, that's new to prospecting, they have to embrace and understand and accept that they are not going to be good at it, that their skills are not going to be great, and that they have to push through anyways. You can't skip over being bad at this. Would you agree? Like you have to go through sucking. You got to go through the pain. You got to go through the tears. Literally, you're crying. I remember. And you have to get through that in order to build confidence. Would you agree?
I think I was crying every 10 days.
Yeah. That's what you said. Yeah. Yeah.
Every 10 days I would call, and then I'm like, nothing's happening. And then I would cry again. And then I would go under my blanket and then like that. But then like an hour later, I will get out of my blanket and then I go on my Vulcan 7 and then I'm just going to call again.
Yeah.
And then that was it. I made sure I had my 3 hours of the day.
Yeah.
Of prospecting. So whatever that time is, it has to be there. It has to be done. Now I have a set schedule for that. But in the beginning, I was like, oh my God, I only did 1 hour or I only did 30 minutes. I was just going that. And there were times, remember you challenged us, the 30-day challenge?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I have not done my calls yet. So I would call at 5:30 at night to have to make sure, because we are recording ourselves in Fisbo Dom in the live, right?
Yeah.
I would call at 5:30 or 6 o'clock at night because I said, like, I'm not starting at zero.
That's right. You're not going backwards.
I'm not going backwards. There's no way. I just want to do this one time, the 30-day challenge, and then that's it.
Yeah.
So it did not matter to me, but I was like, okay, no, there's no way for me to go back.
Yeah. And the other thing that stuck out to me when you told that was you really practice something that we talk about all the time, which is detaching from the outcome and just focusing on, all right, I'm just making my calls. I don't care what happens. I'm just going to do the work. And through that mindset, you actually built some skills. You built a pipeline, you built some leads, and those all started building some momentum in your business that at the time you didn't realize was happening, correct?
No, I did not know it was happening when the first phone call came back and then say like, hey, you know what, Beverly, I still have your sales and marketing packet that you left here. We're ready now.
Yep.
And then I get that call. And then now I'm following up on my pipeline, and then continuously they're coming in. It's like 2 to 3 months. The reality is this: a lot of people don't understand that for sale by owner, do not sign on the spot.
Yep, exactly. So that was the next thing I was going to talk about. And for sale by owners or not, I think just in real estate, it's very rare to find somebody who's ready to list their house on the market, be ready for showings today, ready to put an offer on a house today. I think it's at least a 90-day conversion cycle that the conversations we have do not manifest for at least 90 days. And for people that are new to sales that don't understand pipeline or the pipeline maturity, they think that they're just spinning their wheels. They don't know you got to build pipeline, because to your point, it's very rare that your first conversations are really going to go anywhere. It takes time to follow up, to build that momentum. It's like contact 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the future that you're getting contracts signed and you're getting closings.
Absolutely. So I average between 7 touches to 13 touches on for sale by owners, and then they're ready.
That's
so
right.
That there are different touches that you have to engage them so that you end up developing a relationship. And then to the point that I actually even tell them, like, hey, you know what? If you really want all those other agents to stop calling you, here's my number, save it right now. And then tell them, you know what? If you want any questions, just tell them that you already have an agent. They're no longer going to call you anymore.
Where did you get that confidence from? Because was it just because we talk about a lot, the learnings and the doing. And so you've done so much that you've really beaten the fear out of yourself. And now it's like Superwoman, like you are so confident. And is that because you've gotten so many reps?
Yes. So I had so many. I also got beaten up so many times. I got sick and tired of it.
Absolutely.
I was like, come on, I cannot be losing to other agents more than my conversion. I had to up my conversion. So I had to detach it. The moment I detach it, and then I said, like, hey, you know what, Mr. Seller, this is what's happening right now. By not choosing me, you're taking a risk. What if by not choosing me, you're risking not having 15,000 or 20,000 or 30,000 above market value because I have more exposure than the other agents? I'm not just going to put a sign outside. By choosing me, I'm going to really market your property.
I love it. It's so cool.
And so they love the passion. They love my confidence.
That's right.
Probably feel it.
Yeah.
And when they see that, they're actually thinking like, that is the risk, sir, that you're willing to take. I've already shown you what I have done. I've already shown you the properties that I have sold. I've already shown you. I can talk again about your property that's sold next door, just like all the 3 other agents on all the other 5 agents that will bring in front of you. But that is not why I'm here. I'm here to actually show you why I'm selling your property.
I love it. I love it.
There, they just sign.
Yeah, well, that's a great segue. So now I want to talk about, I want your opinion on something. And this hit me a little while ago, and I'm so passionate about really a new discovery that, I don't know, just kind of hit me that regardless of what an agent does from a lead generation standpoint, because there's a lot of debate, right? Like, making phone calls versus buying Zillow leads versus door knocking versus open houses versus anything people doing to get leads. You can debate that all day on what works better. What you can't debate is once you get to the listing appointment. All of that means nothing if you can't go to a listing appointment and present yourself as the obvious choice to close for that listing. Absolutely. And so I want your opinion. What do you think is more important? If you had to pick one, lead generation, like tactics and strategies, or a world-class presentation, what do you think would help an agent more?
A world-class presentation.
Me too. And, for a long time, I spent so many years and so much of my content and so much of my coaching spent on lead generation. And what I realized was, Brandon, you could teach them till you're blue in the face, but once they get to that presentation, if they suck, they're not going to get anything.
No, they're not.
So it doesn't matter if they go to a listing appointment. If they cannot present, It's all for nothing.
Absolutely. The thing is, like, you have to remember, you're competing with like 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 agents.
Yeah.
What will make you stand out? What is your value that you're bringing to them? You have to remember, you're going there to provide a solution, not to list their house.
That's right.
You're there to provide a solution for their problem, right?
Yep. And the problem is selling a house.
Yes. And
That's
then
right.
what is it? Then you come there. It's not just your photography. It's not
Right.
just videography. It's your skill to be able to negotiate. It's an entire package.
Yeah.
Right. When you come there, and then they need to know, you need to be able to confidently articulate that, so that when they sign the contract, they say, like, you know what, I am in good hands.
That's right.
Beverly Offray.
That's right. Well said. Yeah, because what we're doing is, I always tell agents, you're exactly right, Bev. It is not, you're not going to get the listing because you do this special video and the other agents don't do a better video. That's not what's happening. It's a perception of value. And the agent that can give more perceived value at the presentation is going to win. The agent that gives the seller the most confidence that they're in good hands,
yes,
the agent that can do that the best is going to win the listing. And so, you know, I don't know if you, well, I don't think you and I have talked about this, but I teach a lot on like how to create value at a listing appointment. I call it the value ladder. And, you know, we do that because everyone's listening like, okay, what does provide value mean? I always get that question. So let me give the audience really quick, Bev, some context. Is that okay? All right. So when we talk about providing value, what we're talking about is there's 2 components of the value equation. There's increased certainty and decreased risk. And the further those things can be apart, the greater value in the middle you're creating. We call that the value ladder. So everyone that's watching this replay, the larger your value ladder, the more likely it is that you're going to get the listing. How you do that is by increasing the seller's confidence in yourself and your abilities and decreasing their risk in hiring you. And that's what we've been spending a lot of time on.
Absolutely. And then that is what I'm working on every single time I go on an appointment. Because first of all, so my lead source, I only work with for sale by owners and expireds. So that's 90% of my business. Okay. So they have already experienced like their property not selling.
Right.
Right. And then so you have to emotionally understand what they're going through right now. This time they don't want to take a risk anymore.
Exactly. Empathy.
Yes. And then so now what you have to do is like, you cannot go there and say like, hey, you know what? Neighbor 1, neighbor 5, neighbor 7 sold for 630. Definitely your property is probably hovering between 6 and 650.
Right.
It cannot be like that, because all the other agents are going to come with the same CMA that you're going, that person is going to come. What will make you different from all those other agents talking about those same CMA, right?
Love it. I love it.
That is how you're going to get the listing.
That's right. I love it. So, all right, now let's talk about, so we talked about the presentation. Let's talk about your schedule a little bit. All right. So you're going to do 31 million, which is going to represent $500,000 in income. So many agents would love to do that. Tell them the work that is involved to create that much business. Can you walk us through daily schedule a little bit more, and how many contacts you're making and how many appointments you're going on? What does the actual work look like behind the curtain?
Okay, so I told you about my morning routine.
Yes.
And then at 8 o'clock in the morning, I have half an hour of calling new expireds and new for sale by owners, because there's not a lot.
Yep.
But guys, you have to remember, even 1 or 2 a day, that means 60 a month.
Exactly.
Okay, so some people are always saying, which I repeatedly keep hearing, we don't have for sale by owner, it's only 1 or 2. I'm like, okay, don't call them, because
I know.
not a lot. I will call them.
Welcome, Bev, welcome to my life. I got to do this conversation every day with agents that I coach. It's like, Brandon, there's not enough for FSBOs and expires. I'm like, you guys, 1 or 2 means 60 to 100 a month.
Exactly. I'm like, anyway. I'll get that. That's in 3 months. That's what,
hundreds,
120,
yeah,
or like 200 or like 300.
That's
Come
right.
on, that's on my pipeline. Call
exactly.
them again,
I
right?
love it.
that's exciting. Anyway, so I do that in the beginning, and then after that, I have on my schedule. So I do my personal schedules first. So that is the thing that is permanent. Nothing changes that one. I cannot be driving somewhere. And then because this is what I learned in the beginning. In the beginning, I said, oh, I will do prospecting time from 8 to 11. But then in between, I have to drive my daughter. I have to do things. But then I figured out, then it ruins my entire schedule, right? So what I did, which what I adopted now, and I'm teaching all my the people that I am
mentoring.
Yeah. I tell them, like, first, give me your schedule, but these are the schedule. If you're going to the gym, write it down. If you're driving your kids, write it down. We are going to put your schedule around that, because I don't want to have an excuse that you're driving your kid in between prospecting time.
That's exactly right. Yes.
You have to follow your schedule to the dot, to the T.
Yep. That's
right. And then, so I did that. So I would do my 8 to 8:30 prospecting first in the beginning. And then from 9 o'clock to 9:30, I have a mastermind group. And then from 9:30 to 11:30, I'm calling again. This one is like old for sale by owners and old expireds and my follow-ups. I do that all the time. Nothing changes there. Okay. And then I have a little bit of break. I have my admin work around 1 to 2 o'clock every day. And then after that, if I go on appointments, I do a lot of Zoom appointments right now because I cannot be on the road when I can be calling.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
So if I have a choice to meet you on Zoom, I will meet you on the Zoom, and then I will impress you to the point that I'm already sending you the contract. If I have a choice like that. So I am either on Zoom or on appointments. If I do not have appointments on that day, I am going to finish the day with, again, prospecting or following up, because there's so many people to call. I have so many people to say hi, hello to, and simple things like, hey, I was just thinking about you, even for text. I was just thinking about you. Are you, like, now I'm sending text messages, and I think I posted it on our Facebook group.
Yeah.
I am sending, because I'm building, I'm engaging again on my database.
Yep.
I am sending a text message to my group, to the group, and saying, like, hi, this is Beverly. I was just thinking about you. Hey, any plans of say anything about that family, very specific, so it's personalized. And then I was just thinking about you. Any plans? Do you know what the value of your house now? Do you want me? I can send that quickly on your email. Or if you're thinking of refinancing, I know a great lender. It's an engagement, nothing else.
That's right.
Either way, I'm looking forward to hearing from you. But then it's an engagement. They will say, like, hi, Beverly, how are you?
Top of mind.
Yes, top of mind. This little thing. So I do that in the afternoon as well. But I am making sure that I'm attempting. This is my first year, right?
Yes.
I'm attempting to just develop to be top of mind, and then my engagement, once I've mastered it, it will not go away.
Yeah. I love it. How much? So it sounds like, for all of you guys watching, if you're really listening to what Beverly is telling you, 70 to 80% of your day is spent in revenue generating activities, correct?
Yes.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And most agents, as you know, Beverly, when you watch them, they spend 80 to 90% of their time wasting time, non-revenue generating activities, nothing to do with lead generation, nothing to do with lead conversion. They're not presenting on Zoom. They're not doing anything productive. They're wasting time. And then they say, why am I not successful? Well, hello, right? And so I love that you're doing a lot of Zoom appointments. I've transitioned that as much as I can too, because people like it as well. It's so much easier to jump on a Zoom, do the presentation over Zoom, and then we can send the contract via e-sign. It's a great way to do business.
I know. And then actually, unfortunately, it's because of the COVID. The COVID actually helped accelerate.
I know.
People actually felt comfortable
doing
I can always say like, you know what, you can do this in the comfort of your home. We don't need to bother anybody. And then and also it will be at your own time with your
Right.
spouse, whoever is going to be on the decision maker. I can just really show everything to you.
I
And
love
then
it.
they say like, sure, absolutely.
That's great. And so how many contacts are you making per day through all of the prospecting you're doing, roughly?
Contacts, well, it varies. So
Yeah.
I do between 22 to around 40, around 40.
Got it. And do you know how many contacts it takes you to set a listing appointment? Do you know that ratio? Yeah.
Yes. So I do I do around 3,000 calls a week.
Love
Dials.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to make sure. 3,000 dials a week. And then in a day, that would hover between around 300.
Yeah.
200, between 200 to 300, depending. Because if I don't meet my appointments, I have a quota on my mind that I have to achieve every day. So I have to do 2 appointments set every day.
I love it. So 10 appointments. So 3,000 dials a week. Your goal with 3,000 dials gets you how many conversations? What's your contact ratio? Are you getting, well, you said between 22 and 40.
Yeah, those are conversations, actual conversations.
Oh, 3,000 conversations a week?
No,
dials.
3,000 dials.
Yes.
And then on a daily basis, I would hover between 22
yes
to 40 conversations, depending. I have so sometimes I stop at 2, but there are days I can do 5 appointments. I can set 5. But I'm very relentless. I'm like, come on, sir. What will you lose? Okay.
I love it.
I make it look, at the end of the day, it's going to be a win-win for you. For example, I'm competing with another agent that they want to release. It's going to be a win-win for you. When you see what my program is, it will just establish that the other agent is much better, or you're now talking to a better agent. Either way, you win.
It's a win-win. I love that, Bev. I mean, I just love the confidence you have. I cannot wait. I can't wait to share the stage with you in 3 weeks and share all of this with other agents, because you can help so many people. And I love who you've become, right? I know we've talked a lot about that, like the person you must become. And you are now like this shining star with total confidence, total conviction, total belief in yourself, where all this has happened in 1 year. I can't imagine what's going to happen in 5 years, 10 years. So it's going to be amazing, amazing. So last 2 things for me. One, what are your goals for 2022 as you look through those? I know you shared those a little, but what can you share with the audience about your 2022 goals?
Okay, my goal for 2022 is 55 million, 70 transactions.
I love it. And that will put how much money in your pocket?
750,000 net.
Yes.
So GCI would be 1 million, I think. 1 million.
So what does your family think about this new version of Beverly? Like, what does your husband think? What does their kids think of this successful businesswoman?
Guys, if you follow your schedule, you will have more time with your family.
Exactly. The tighter your schedule, the more freedom you have, correct?
Yes. Absolutely. I like it because now I have time I don't work Saturdays or Sundays unless it is really, really necessary. Yeah. And then at 7:30 at night, I leave my phone in my office. Yeah. And then I'm with my family. That's it.
And you can only do that because you're following your schedule, where most realtors don't follow a schedule. So that's why they have to work 7 days a week, sun up to sundown, because they feel so guilty. They can't shut their phone off because, like, I'm a realtor. I can never do that. You can do that when you follow a schedule, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love it. And then the last thing I have for you is, for the new agent or the agent who is not succeeding at the level they want, Beverly, if you could leave them with one piece of advice that would make the biggest impact in their business, what would it be?
I would say build your skills by role playing every day, because that will build your confidence when you're in front of somebody. And then find somebody that you can role play on a daily basis, and then do it consistently. You have to be consistent. You know, you cannot just say like, I'm going to role play today and then it disappears, right? But you do that because you're building now your mental. If you're new, start that and then put something on the calendar. Please put something on the calendar, at least your prospecting time. You know,
it should be an appointment with yourself.
Yes, block that time, and then so role play in the morning. Just tell, you have to have a conscious decision. I am starting my day at 7:30 in the morning. No matter what, I'm going to start my day at 7:30. That means like at 8 o'clock, when I am free to call anybody, I have already my list because I have my 30 minutes, I had my coffee, and then just consistently follow your schedule. That's it.
Love it.
I think
Love it.
That is, you have to start like that. And then you will only improve because you're going to be talking to a lot of people. Eventually, you're not going to even realize it. You're just like just answering them flawlessly.
Yeah, that's great advice, Beverly. Thank you so much. You're just an inspiration to everybody. And, you know, the agents that you mentor, they're very lucky to have you. And so what's the best way for people to reach out if they're interested in working closer with you? What's the best way for people to reach out?
Well, they can just call me at 425-677-5717.
Perfect. And if you don't mind, I'll put that in the description underneath this video. So if agents, you guys are interested, Beverly does a great job mentoring other agents. And so you guys can reach out to her. And then my friend, will look forward to seeing you in 3 weeks when we're going to be sharing a stage together at our first live summit. So I'll look forward to that. Thank you so much for doing this and taking time out of your calendar to pour into the industry. And thank you for all that you do.
Oh, of course. And thank you. Thank you for guiding. Oh my God, you're such an inspiration.
Thanks, Beverly. We'll talk to you soon. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brandon.